it's not difficult for me to describe my background because in a sense I've had a very, very broad and very interesting background of life. When I graduated from junior high school, I had begun at that time at age 18 to do some acrobatics and gymnastics, even to the degree that later in my life, in addition to my regular work as a university administrator, that's what I was, Elmer, university administrator from 1946 until I retired then in 1988. So I had a side issue in life, in addition to being, I can say this with a little bit of humility, a pretty good student. I was academically always sort of at the top of the class and so on in the schools I went to, junior high school, and then college. Having said that, part of my life is made up not only of family and of Arizona State University for 25 years, but also of being involved very, very directly and seriously in gymnastics and acrobatics as a side issue of my life. It's one of the reasons that at my age I'm still in relatively good shape, except for this broken foot that I have, which you can't get on your, but I do have a broken foot today. In any event, if that's enough to introduce it.
I was going to have you, since you're talking about your acrobatic skills, I was going to have you describe this photograph that we have with you and your friend.
Yeah, this photograph was taken in Hawaii while I was in the Marine Corps, active duty, in 1944. And the man on the bottom is Al Motter. He was a very, very famous acrobat, professional acrobat, and I met him on the beach there. And we worked out, and this is Diamond Head, and this is Waikiki Beach in Hawaii.
And you're the one on top, standing
I'm on the top,
on one arm.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And back to the earlier comment I made, when I started doing and learning gymnastics and acrobatics, even before college and high school and junior high, we lived in Philadelphia. And near where we lived was a theater called the Carmen Theater. And the Carmen Theater would have vaudeville show as well as a movie changing every week. And always each week, one of the acts would be some kind of an acrobatic act. And my dad, who saw a background interest in me early in my life, used to take us to the theater, and then we'd go backstage and say, here's my son Joe, tell him what acrobatics is about. And that's a little bit of a background. That led, in a sense, to your question, Elmer. This fellow and I, Al Motter and I, during World War II, we did a hand balancing act, which you saw a copy of, in the evenings while he was in the Navy and I was in the Marine Corps. Pearl Harbor, by the way, location. And we were allowed to, by our bosses, to take time off in the evening as long as we got back at 0600 hours in the morning to begin work. And we were actually paid for each of those performances, and we would travel all over those islands, the Hawaiian Islands, which at that time, by the way, was not a state. This was the territory of Hawaii at that time. Having said that, that's what that picture's about.